Welcome to another edition of Between Two Pines. As always, there's a ton going on at the District of Muskoka, but today we're with somebody who's been on the show before. Suzanne Olimer is our Commissioner of Finance, your second-time guest. Fifth visit is free, so keep working on that loyalty card.
Will do.
All right, and thank you for being here. And in honor of Suzanne being here today, we have a traditional adding machine because this is the person who guides the district's financial health as our treasurer. So we're going to talk a little bit today about money, your money, taxpayers' money, and how we spend it here at the district. So first of all, we just got our financial statements back for last year. Strong financial results again. Why is that important?
Well, as you mentioned, those financial results are hot off the press, and why it's important to our residents is in the case that we do have to go out and borrow funds for these big projects that our chair has mentioned in his previous Between Two Pines segments, we'll be able to secure a better interest rate, and that translates to huge savings for our residents when we're talking about large-scale infrastructure.
Right, so the higher our credit rating, the lower the interest rate we pay, which means the lower the cost to the taxpayer when we do big things. And the other strength, we talked about this last year, that the district's been building up our reserves for many years, and now we are choosing to make investments. We're going to draw down that money and put it straight into big projects in the community, and that's happening now. So I think about the Fairburn home, the long-term care home in Huntsville, Glen Orchard, a new ambulance station, Bay and Beyond in Gravenhurst, and Mount View, new pipes and sewer systems. How does it benefit our residents when we're able to draw reserves rather than borrowing?
As you mentioned, when we are able to use reserves instead of going out and borrowing those funds, it means savings of millions of dollars in interest. Basically, we're able to put these big infrastructure projects into action without incurring debt.
Yeah, and as much as just like any typical household, people don't have enough money to buy a house for cash or a car for cash. So we have mortgages, we have car loans. The district also does that from time to time. But where we can avoid that, we're saving huge amounts in interest, both because of our financial condition and because we're able to do the project sort of pay as you go, right?
Absolutely. So construction financing is reflected in our results this year. And so we will see that drawdown of reserves as you've mentioned. But overall, our surplus is still increasing because we're able to show that our investment in tangible capital assets, or the stuff that our residents see and drive on and use every day, is increasing more than what we have drawn down in those savings.
Right, because we're making investments into tangible things that we need, into assets that are part of the district's asset base going forward. So this year we did a 2-year budget. That was new, that lays out a lot of these projects and the next steps in terms of our services and also what we're doing in communities. But why was it important to do a 2-year budget? What's better about that?
Well, really a 2-year budget is the first step in getting to a longer sort of term budget, which will allow residents to be able to see exactly what the district is doing with their taxpayer dollars over a longer period. And it shows sort of that strategic long-term planning when it comes to how we're using those tax dollars that we're collecting.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is the opportunity for the public to be part of this process, and we're going to, I think, have another survey soon, right?
Absolutely. So we want to still make sure we have it right. So part of the multi-year budget process means that council will be going back to deliberate on those budget decisions that they made earlier on in the budget process. Make sure we still have it right. Are we still reflecting the priorities of our residents? And so each fall we'll be able to take a hard look at the upcoming year's budget. And we want to hear from our residents to make sure that we're still focusing on the priorities that they care most about.
Wow, that's great. So if you think the district should invest more in roads or less in roads, more in seniors programs or long-term care, health, paramedics, all of the things that the district does, please check out our survey at engagemuskoka.on.ca. Our survey last year was really helpful. We got a great response from across Muskoka, and if you can continue to give us that input, we can make sure we're reflecting your priorities in our budget. So thank you to our guest, Suzanne Olimer, for joining us, spending some time with us today, and thanks for tuning in, of course. We want to highlight Indigenous Peoples Day. It's a very significant day here in Muskoka, and on June 28th and 29th is the Muskoka Powwow, second annual. Take a look at muskokapowwow.com. And as Pride Month comes to a close this June, we are looking ahead to Pride Week in Muskoka, which is July 17th to 27th, a vibrant celebration of love, identity, and the power of showing up as your true self. Stay tuned through Muskoka Pride for full event details and other opportunities to get involved. I'm Jeff Lehman, your district chair. See you in July on the next episode of Between Two Pines.